In order to reclaim the throne in Blueprints, step number one is you must read the Curse of the Black Bridge. And so the way you do that is by going to the library and checking that book out. That book is only available after you purchase it in the bookshop. After you have requested the book, go back the following day and read the book. The book is very long, and I'm going to go very quickly through it. Now that you have read that, the next thing that you need to do is you need to get the cursed coffers from the gift shop. So now that you have read the book, in the gift shop there will be the cursed coffers available for purchase, and that costs 13 gems. The next thing you need to do is you need to get the treasure trove. The treasure trove is a found floor plan. So now we're going to talk about how you can obtain that found floor plan. There are quite a few steps to getting this found floor plan. Step number one is you must have the red box in the boiler room turned on. Once you have the red box in the boiler room turned on, go ahead and go down to the inner sanctum area. Once you are in the inner sanctum area, in the underpass underground, take a left here and you'll see this red door that is sealed by the red box. As you can see, the red box was lit up. Go through that door and now you will come across a large set of stairs. There is now another gear that you have to do. And so in order to do the gear, we're going to turn it one time and then run back up. And now that we're up here, you'll be able to check this out. The first thing is this shows you what the water level needs to be at in order for you to accomplish different things. And so if you have the water level at 6, you can do something different. And so there's another video on that if you want to look at it. There is a allowance token box here. After you have gotten your allowance token, go ahead and go back down. Before we do, we're going to count how many things we need to turn it. We need to turn it 3 times. So we're going to run down, turn it 3 times, go back up. Once we're back up here, we're going to come across this locked gate. As we know, all of the locked gates are cracked by dates. And so the only date that we can put in here is May 8. We push the button and it unlocks. Once we are in here, if you look to the right, you will find the treasure trove floor plan. The next step in the process is drafting the shrine outside and obtaining the blessing of the monk. So draft the shrine outside and then go inside and give 77 coins to have the blessing of the monk active for 7 days. You can also do fewer days, like 45 coins will get it to you for, I think, 4 days. After you have that, the next thing you want to do is you want to call it a day in the treasure trove. Calling it a day in the treasure trove will allow you to draft the treasure trove in the outer room. So we call it a day here, and the next thing we're going to do is obtain the royal scepter. And so obtaining the royal scepter is quite a challenge. The first thing you have to do is you have to have the constellation in the sky that says the Southern Cross. That needs to be the only constellation in the sky. Once you have done that, you must get rid of all of your items or assets. You must have no gems, no keys, no gold, no items in your inventory, completely empty. Once you do that, you're going to come down to the place where you have already done the castle move and go down this set of stairs. Once you go down this set of stairs, you're going to come across this large kind of room that has statues on both sides and a tomb right in the middle. Once you come to this tomb, you will have to wait until the sacred time of 1:30. Once the sacred time of 1:30 comes, this tomb will pop up. You need to rotate the hands on the clock backwards to 1:09, press the button, then rotate clockwise to 1:15, press the button, rotate counterclockwise until you get to the word east, which should be 12:26, and then push the button. Doing so will cause the tomb to open up, and there you can grab your Key of Ares. Now, once you have the Key of Ares, you can either immediately call it a day, and you can come back the next day when you have keys and gems and resources and pick up your key again. Once you have done all of these steps, you can go back anytime and pick up your key. But once you have your key, you want to draft the treasure trove in the outer room. Once you draft the treasure trove in the outer room, that chest will now be a black chest, and inside is the royal scepter. The royal scepter is a great item that you get to keep if you call it a day in the colored room that your scepter is. So I'm setting my scepter to blue, and once I set my scepter to blue and hit confirm, I'm going to go inside and call it a day in a blue room. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to call it a day in a blue room. Now that I've done that, the next step that I did was I utilized the armory and I used the axe. In the armory using the axe, I then went to the found floor plans and I clicked on the throne room. When I clicked on the throne room, I noticed that it had a cost of 5 gems, and so I used the axe to remove the 5 gems cost, and so now it will be free. So with the throne room now being 0, you start your day with the blue scepter. You're ready to start your throne room run. It's important to have the throne room close to entrance hall. The reason why you want it close to entrance hall is after you get cursed, you won't have any more than 13 steps. I drafted the study very early on, and so I am under the impression I'm going to be very set for this run. I move my Banner of the King to black, and with one redraw, I get the throne room. The throne room is the room that we needed for this to work. Behind the throne is a lever to room 46, so don't forget to pull that, so you don't have to run down into the inner sanctum to pull that lever down there. Now, the only thing that you need to do now is get to room 46, get the blue crown, and you also will need a sledgehammer. And so I buy a sledgehammer here from the shop, and now for the rest of this run, I am just trying to figure out a way to get into the antechamber. A way to get into the antechamber is by getting the weight room and pulling that. You can get the Great Hall and pull the lever there, or you can get the Secret Garden and pull the levers there, or you can get the greenhouse and pull those levers. You must have one of those routes to the antechamber. And so in this run, I was able to also get the laundry room, and when I was able to get the laundry room, I was able to convert all of my money to keys, then all of my money to gems, and then I went back and got even more money, and then I switched my money and keys again. So I ended up with 48 keys, 101 gems, and 158 gold. So now that I have all of that, the only thing I have left to do now is get to the antechamber, and I am a little bit worried about my route to the antechamber at this point. I have more than half of the rooms filled in my house, and I don't have a clear way to get to the antechamber. I do not have the Great Hall. Ooh, I just got the Secret Garden key there, and so now I do have a way to get to the antechamber. I use my Secret Garden key. I go over here and I move the wheels so that I can pull the lever. And now with that lever pulled, I have a route into the antechamber. I'm a little worried on steps at this point, and so that's why I am digging so much. I'm looking for radishes or turnips in the dirt. So at this point now, I have the route into the antechamber. I have enough steps to get to the dining room. I just need to pick up the blue crown. So I go into room 46, pick up my blue crown, and even though I have everything set up, I just want to get a full house at this point. So I am drafting to try to get that full house. I finished these last couple of rooms in the corner, have the last room in the rotunda to get, and now that I have everything, I am all squared away to go get the shrine outside. So I have gems to do redraws, and if it doesn't give it to me on the first one, which it doesn't, it also doesn't give it to me on the second one. I have to wait until the third one here, and I have the shrine. Now that I have the shrine, I'll go in and see the cursed coffers on the ground. It'll give me a warning saying, "Are you sure you want to do this? Man, that ominous feeling really is still sticking around. You sure you want to do this?" And after you say yes, you will be cursed. You have picked up the cursed effigy and are now cursed. It doesn't matter though, we've already built every room in the house. All we need to do now is take the cursed effigy with the blue scepter and our blue crown into the throne room, and we will be able to reclaim the throne. And so with the throne room just a couple doors away, we will be able to go in there with all three of the things: the cursed effigy, the blue crown, and the blue scepter. When you do that, a cutscene will start. I'm going to skip through the cutscene and the rest of it. And once you have completed that, the throne room will now be a blue floor plan. And as you can see in the end of this run here in the map, right there in the lower middle, the throne room is now the throne of the blue prince, and it's a blue room. Now that the throne room is blue, the final thing that you need to do is you need to unseal the blue doors. The way that you do that is you have to get the throne room drafted in your house, and once you have the throne room drafted in your house, you will then be able to start to draft blue rooms, and your goal is to draft 8 consecutive blue rooms. So you'll see we got the throne room here. Now that we have the throne room, the first room that I draft is the speakeasy. Nope, the coat check. And so by doing the coat check, you can see there is one next to the dice up there, and that signifies there is one blue room that has been drafted. Now there's 2 blue rooms that have been drafted, and so if you draft 8 consecutive ones, it will go up to 8. As you can see there, I drafted a yellow room, and so my counter started over. Now I'm at 2. Now I'm at 3. I'm going to draft another room, the garage. Nope. Don't want the garage. I want the pool. The pool is 5. Storeroom is 6. Security is 7. And here we go. All we have to do is get one more blue room. We have 2 doors to draft from. Gonna do it here. Gonna do the pump room because it goes into the foundation. And when we draft the pump room, you'll see that all of the blue sealed doors are unlocked.